everybody, how's it going? And welcome to Daily's 2A News. Today I want to talk about California's handgun roster and where the case currently stands that's trying to overturn it. So let's talk about that. Now, on this channel and on my main channel, I get a lot of questions every single day about the California handgun roster, and for good reason. It's one of the biggest thorns in the side of California residents. The California approved handgun roster is a list of firearms or a list of handguns that are allowed to be sold in the state of California based off of criteria that was developed by the government. And one of those criteria is micro-stamping. And if you guys know anything about micro-stamping, there's nobody out there that's doing it. There's nobody that's micro-stamping cases by the primer or the chamber or anything else. There's just nobody that's doing it. So the list of approved handguns on that roster gets smaller every single year, and you got a lot of old stuff that's on there, things that are just pretty much outdated at this point, and even the old stuff is starting to fall off and disappear. So what's available to Californians just continues to shrink. Now, there is a case that has been winding its way through the court system that I've talked about on the main channel before this one was created, and that case is Pena V Horan. Now, here is an update on that case. Okay, a lot of people ask me what's the latest update on it. Well, you guys remember I made a video just yesterday about 10 cases that were kind of punted down the road by the Supreme Court. They weren't denied, but they were going to be considered later on. Well, those 10 cases have since been rescheduled to be reconsidered by the Supreme Court, and so the Supreme Court might now hear them. Well, Pena V Horan is one of those cases. So Pena V Horan, which is again the handgun and micro-stamping roster case for California, is in that list of 10 cases that could potentially be heard by the Supreme Court. This is a very volatile case. It, I think, is a very important case for the Second Amendment, and one of the more important ones that's in there. I believe 6 of the cases that are in those 10 cases actually revolve around some type of carry law. So the chances of them hearing all 6 of those cases is probably slim. They'll probably pick one that's the most pertinent, and if they do decide to hear it, maybe they'll hear 1 or 2 of those carry cases. But this one right here is unique across the country. The handgun roster is unique across the country, and it definitely restricts the Second Amendment rights of California citizens. So I think that if any of them are going to be considered, Pena V Horan is one of the ones that might be considered. So for those people that have been asking me what's going on with the California handgun roster, right now it sits, I'm not sure the exact date, to be honest with you. I've seen people report that it might be up for consideration on the 18th of May, and so it might be very soon where the Supreme Court is going to basically take those back up and re-look at them again to consider whether or not they're going to actually hear the case. But that's where Pena V Horan sits, in one of those 10 cases you guys have been hearing so much about here on YouTube that the Supreme Court could consider. So that's our latest update. When the Supreme Court actually looks at these 10 cases again and considers whether to hear any of them, none of them, or all of them, then I'll come back to you guys and let you know if Pena V Horan is one of those cases, because if the Supreme Court hears this micro-stamping case, it could come down on our side. I think that it would, you know, just based off the merits, but in reality, with the Supreme Court, you never know. You never know which side it could fall on, in which case the handgun roster and micro-stamping could stay. But I think that we actually have a pretty good chance in this case, so let's see what happens. Again, that's where it sits right now in consideration for the Supreme Court. So I wanted to give you guys that update, and any further updates that happen down the road, I'll let you guys know about it. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, please support the Firearms Policy Coalition down below. They need every penny they can right now. Donations are getting slimmer and slimmer as, you know, people are just basically out of donation money. And so in order for them to keep putting out these spot fires for the Second Amendment that keep popping up across the country, they need our continued support. So I try and help them out as much as I can. So again, I want to thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.